Most people think intelligence is loud, that if you're the smartest person in the room, you'll prove it. You'll speak more, argue better, dominate conversations. But the truth is, the most dangerous people in any room are usually the quietest ones. Because real intelligence doesn't rush to be seen, it observes. While everyone else is busy trying to be understood, they're busy understanding. And that changes everything. Because the moment you stop trying to control how you're perceived, you start seeing people for who they really are. Their tone, their body language, their insecurities, their patterns. Things most people miss because they're too focused on what to say next. Silence gives you something most people will never have: clarity. When you're not speaking, you're not reacting. And when you're not reacting, you're in control. Most people expose themselves without realizing it. They reveal their intentions through impatience, through over-explaining, through needing validation. But when you stay silent, you force them to fill the space. And in that space, people show you everything. Their confidence, their fear, their need for approval. You don't have to ask, you just have to watch. Because people are uncomfortable with silence. They rush to break it. They talk too much. They reveal too much. And the more they speak, the more information you gain. That's the first shift. Stop trying to impress. Start observing. Because the person who understands the room always has the advantage over the person trying to control it. And this is where it becomes psychological. Carl Jung believed that people don't just show you who they are, they project it. Every opinion someone has reveals something about them. Every judgment is a reflection. Every reaction is a clue. But you'll never see it if you're too busy reacting back. That's why silence is power. It creates distance between you and the emotional pull of the moment. And that distance is where intelligence lives. Because when you're emotionally involved, you lose awareness. You say things you don't mean. You react instead of respond. You give away control. But when you stay grounded, still, observant, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is power. Because people can only manipulate you if they understand you. If they can predict your reactions, your triggers, your patterns. But when you don't react the way they expect, they lose their advantage. And that's when the dynamic shifts. Now they're the ones trying to figure you out. Now they're the ones adjusting. And without saying a word, you've taken control. Most people try to win through force, through arguments, through dominance, through proving themselves. But that's not intelligence. That's insecurity, trying to look like strength. Real intelligence doesn't need to prove anything. It waits. It studies. It understands the person in front of it better than they understand themselves. And once you understand someone, you don't need to overpower them. You already know where they're weak, where they're emotional, where they're predictable. And that knowledge is more powerful than any argument. Because people don't lose control when they're challenged. They lose control when they're understood. That's when they feel exposed. And most people can't handle that. They become defensive, they overreact, they reveal even more. And all you did was stay quiet. That's the second shift. Stop reacting emotionally. Your emotions are the easiest way for someone to control you. If they can make you angry, they can control your actions. If they can make you insecure, they can control your decisions. If they can make you desperate, they can control your behavior. And most people fall into this trap without realizing it. They think they're responding, but they're being pulled. Pulled by words, by tone, by pressure. And every time they react, they give away power. But when you don't react, when you stay composed, you break that cycle. You become stable in a room full of instability. And people feel that. They may not understand it, but they notice it. Because calmness is rare, especially in situations where emotions are high. And the person who remains calm naturally becomes the center of gravity. People adjust around them. That's the third shift. Control your presence. Because you don't need words to influence a room. Your posture, your eye contact, your stillness, they communicate more than anything you say. When you move less, people notice more. When you speak less, your words carry more weight. When you react less, your presence becomes stronger. And over time, people start to feel it. They become more careful around you, more aware, more controlled, because they can't read you easily. And what people can't read, they respect or fear. Sometimes both. But here's the deeper truth. This isn't about manipulating people. It's about mastering yourself. Because the moment you no longer need to prove anything, you stop playing the same game as everyone else. You're no longer trying to win attention. You're no longer reacting for validation. You're operating from awareness. And awareness is what separates intelligence from noise. Because in a world where everyone is talking, the one who understands without speaking will always be ahead. So the next time you're in a room, don't rush to speak. Don't rush to prove. Don't rush to react. Pause. Observe. Let people reveal themselves. And only speak when it actually matters. Because power isn't in saying more. It's in needing to say less. And once you master that, you won't need to outsmart anyone. They'll do it to themselves, and you'll see it before they even realize it.